Update. My coworker was bragging to me about her marriage to a rich man, and without me asking her, she showed me a picture of her fiancé's house. I was shocked when I saw the picture. The house in the picture is my childhood home. And then we realized that we had both fallen into the trap of lies that changed everything. When we arrived at my family home, I led her through the gate and up to the front door. I could feel her unease growing with every step we took. The moment my parents opened the door, her face went pale. "Welcome home," my mom said with a warm smile. She looked at Miss Harris and said, "Oh, you brought a friend. Come in, come in." Miss Harris didn't say a word as we stepped inside. I watched as she took in the surroundings, the same house she had claimed belonged to her fiancé's family. She was beginning to realize the truth. I couldn't hold back any longer. "Mom, do you know a man named Aaron? He's a salesman." My parents exchanged a quick glance before nodding. "Oh, yes, he's been coming around a lot lately. He's trying to get us to sign some kind of contract." Miss Harris looked like she was about to faint. It all made sense now. Aaron, her so-called fiancé, had been lying to her. He had pretended that my family's house was his own to impress her. The realization hit Miss Harris like a ton of bricks. Her entire engagement was based on a lie. She broke down in tears right there in my childhood home. "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "I had no idea. I'm so stupid." I sat down beside her, trying to comfort her. Despite everything she had put me through, I felt a pang of sympathy for her. She had been deceived just as much as I had been humiliated. Miss Harris explained that Aaron had swept her off her feet with grand promises and extravagant lies. He told her he came from a wealthy family, that his parents owned multiple properties, and that he was on the fast track to success. She believed every word, but now it was clear, he had been using her just as much as he had been using my family's house as a prop in his elaborate act. But the worst part was yet to come. "I gave him money," Miss Harris confessed, her voice trembling. "He told me he needed it for our wedding fund, and I believed him." I clenched my fists. Aaron wasn't just a liar, he was a con artist. He had manipulated Miss Harris into giving him money, all while spinning lies about a life he could never give her. "We need to do something," I said, determined. "We can't let him get away with this." Miss Harris nodded, wiping her tears. "You're right. But what can we do?" Together, we hatched a plan. The next day, Miss Harris called Aaron and arranged to meet him at a cafe. What he didn't know was that I would be there too. When Aaron walked into the cafe and saw me sitting next to Miss Harris, his face went pale. He knew immediately that his game was up. "I'm going to report you," I said calmly. "You've been lying to both of us, and I have proof." Aaron tried to backtrack, making excuses, but it was too late. I had recorded everything he said, and he knew he couldn't talk his way out of this. In the end, he agreed to repay Miss Harris the money he had borrowed, and we made sure he knew that if he tried anything else, we wouldn't hesitate to take further action. After that, Miss Harris apologized to me once again. She explained that she had been pressured by the other female employees to bully me, but she realized now how wrong she had been. We started talking more often, and over time, we became friends. The other female employees? Well, they were eventually transferred to different departments after their gossiping and backstabbing caused too many problems in the office. The department became much more peaceful after they left. Miss Harris and I now have lunch together, sharing our stories and hobbies. She's introduced me to the world of fashion, and in return, I've gotten her hooked on anime. It's funny how things can change so quickly. In the end, I learned that while money and status might seem important, they're not everything. True happiness comes from the little things, a quiet, peaceful life and the people you can trust. As we walked to a nearby park for lunch, Miss Harris smiled and said, "I made lunch today. I'm trying to be a better cook. Will you try it?" I smiled back. "Of course. Let's go."
Reddit Stories, JJ.